What's up, everybody? Ron Placone here, reporting for Status Coup. Things are heating up here at the UAW. We are here in Chicago, Illinois, at the UAW. The rally is going to start in about 1 hour. It's almost 2 p.m. Central Time here. We'll be going live around that time. And I am here with the Vice President of the UAW, Wacko. How's it going, man?
Well, it's chaotic, to say the least. Things are starting to calm down with scheduling and everything, but I mean, everybody has a lot of good hopes on this. Everybody still has a lot of drive. Everybody has a lot of heart and motivation. Their heart is in it, and nobody's letting up, man. We're all giving this 100%, 110%.
So let me get your take on yesterday. I mean, obviously, Shawn Fain came in with the news that the EV plants are going to be union, that, you know, progress has been made. What was your take from that live stream? Are you feeling inspired? Do you feel like things are going in the right direction?
So it's good to see that they're actually making progress, because that was one of the main holdups. Because if we don't have a product to build, we're not going to have a job in the future. You know, and that's one of the things that we lost out on last time was when we gave up everything back in the recession. They gave the handshake agreement that we were going to start getting these benefits back once they got profitable. Well, they've been profitable. They never gave us anything back. We took it up into arbitration. We lost that equity of sacrifice grievance because nothing was in writing. So this is what they wanted to do, make sure something was in writing. Now, what it kind of leads me is that at least we know that these companies are working in the right direction, but they still got a lot of flexibility to do. We still got to get something for these retirees that we got, because our retirees haven't really had a raise in 17 years. So how would you like to be making the same amount of money for 17 years over and over, especially on a fixed income? You know, that's really hard to do.
So let's talk a little bit about your role in all this. I know you're going in a million different directions. So kind of inform the viewers, like what is kind of just the anatomy of running a strike like this? What is your day-to-day like? Give us a little bit of some insider info here on just how it all works.
Absolutely. So we got a lot of people that they're constantly on the move. Okay, we got people here at the hall, we call home base, and they're orchestrating, sending people where they go, filling cracks and holes. We got Chris Penna, our president. I'm the vice president. We're running around visiting all the sites. We're helping drop stuff up. We're solving problems. We're dealing with the police, because when you get a flare up with the police, we got to be there to talk to them, because we're the leaders. You know, we gotta have things calm. We gotta get our people calmed down. Sometimes, you know, people don't always follow the rules because they're uninformed of the rules. So we got to make sure we let somebody know, and it's hard to do, especially when we get all these shift changes. So we get one crew calibrated, then if the fire calms down, then we go to another spot and calm that fire down. Then there's a shift change, and then we got to go back to the original spots and start putting all those fires out. It's been chaotic. Chris and I have been up every freaking day, early in the morning, till ungodly hours of the day and night. You know, there's been nights we haven't called it quits because we just got to lay down till like probably at 2 o'clock in the morning, man. We're plugging and chugging, moving and grooving. We got a couple guys that we basically deputized to step in for us and be authority when we're not there and help out, maybe give some direction. Thank God for those guys, you know. But like I said, everybody back here at the hall, they got their things to do. It's kind of, we had communication issues back and forth as to what's going on, but this is the first time we've done this since 1976. None of us have ever done this before, you know. So everything is a learning curve. As things come up, we're making changes, you know. Try writing your name with the other hand and see how comfortable that is for a while, you know. So it takes a little bit to get the procedure down.
So, I mean, you said like this is the first thing like this since 1976. So going on that, going big picture, how important is this struggle right now for not just the UAW, but just the labor movement in general? Give me your thoughts on that.
So we had Congresswoman Robin Kelly came by the other day. We had Senator Dick Durbin come out yesterday. And I mean, they all expressed that this is not just a movement for the UAW. This is not just a movement for auto workers. This is an entire labor movement for anybody. Rising tides raise all ships. We're setting the bar. If it wasn't for unions, we wouldn't have things like a 40-hour work week. We wouldn't have things like overtime pay, holidays, time offs, personal days. So that's where the unions step up with that strength, and we kind of pave the way, and everybody else will follow. They come follow suit on what we got. So we really need all the support we can get, because it's going to roll back over to the whole community. We are not just here to bring up the auto industry. We are here to raise the entire middle class. For so long, we've been held down with nothing. They're feeding us peanuts, all giving us just enough to live off of, right? And that's no way to live, man, because how are we supposed to contribute back to the communities? So the communities rely on us making good money. This used to be a good job over here where you were set. You would have everything you needed for the rest of your life, as long as we held it that way. Your family, you could support your family on a single income out of here. Now, the middle class in general, you got to have 2, 3, 4 jobs. We can't even keep up with the inflation rate.
So, I know that yesterday on the stream, Shawn Fain said, hey, we're getting there, we're close, but we're not there yet. We're not at the finish line. I know I'm kind of asking you to guesstimate a little bit here, but how close do you think we are to the finish line, and what does that finish line look like in your own words?
Well, that finish line means everybody's going to get a good piece of that pie. The fact that we didn't put anybody on strike last week, we didn't advance our lines at all, I think that Shawn Fain sees that they made some good moves, but I hope that they don't fall into that same trap that they fell into last time with Ford, where they kind of set back to like, oh yeah, they didn't strike us on the second week, so we're good. So they didn't make any advancements, okay? So we had to drop out. That's where UAW 551 Chicago Assembly Plant stepped in, and we got called to stand up. So we stood up. It was our turn, all right? In Chicago, we do things a little bit differently than everybody else, okay? We push the limits. I mean, that's just what Chicago does, guys. So honestly, I think we could be close, but I don't want to jump to conclusions on this. That move where with GM, where they gave the promise of, giving us some EV product and whatnot, that's going to be monumental, because now the other manufacturers, other auto manufacturers, are going to have to follow that as well. So this is a very monumental thing we got going on over here, because if we don't do this now, we may never have another chance. Now is the time. The cards are right. The nation is behind us. They got our back. We're stronger than ever right now. Our numbers might be down versus what they were back in the day, but the hearts and our drive make up for it all.
So I want to be mindful of your time. I know you got a million things to do, but in closing here, is there anything else you just kind of want the public to know about this strike and what it means?
Yeah, absolutely. So this strike, it means a lot to all of our families, all of our friends, all right? What we make, we contribute back into society. When you get these companies that basically they collect all these profits and they sit on these profits, it never gets back into the people. When the money goes to the working class contributes it back, okay? Everybody wants to consider your workforce as an expense, and your workforce is not an expense. Your workforce is an investment. It's an investment in your product. The better you treat your workers, the better off you're going to get the better your product's going to be. The better attendance you're going to get. Your quality is going to be higher. You're going to get much better publicity. And that's really what we need these companies to realize, is they're going to have to grease our pockets for a little bit. We've gone too long without so much. It's time to give a little bit of this back.